Good morning. Welcome to Unity in Marin. Happy Independence Day, and it's so good to have all of you here with us online. Wherever you are, whenever you may be watching this, you may be watching this from the beach, or you might be here with us in person, and it's so good to have all of you here with us. Helping us on the platform today is Carolyn Gauthier, and Carolyn is going to tell us about some things to include and connect all of us. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thanks, Reverend Tim. I love your idea of being on the beach. I was out there yesterday at Kehoe Beach, and it was just beautiful. So let's thank God for this beautiful place that we live. I mean, you can travel anywhere in the world and never find a place quite as beautiful as Marin County. So not bragging, but just saying, we do love our home. We love our home here in Marin County, in California, and in the United States of America. This is a great country to live in, and we're here celebrating Independence Day, the 4th of July, and our freedom. And if you want to get in contact with us to know more about what's going on, we have this great system with text messages. And yes, you can take out your cell phones right here now if you want to. If you aren't already registered, 415-991-7111. And if you're new, text welcome. And if you've been here for a while, text loop, and we'll get you into that circle. Also wanted to let you know that we normally have a virtual courtyard every Sunday at 4 o'clock, but today there's not going to be a meeting. It's Freedom Day. We're going to give Reverend Tim some freedom this afternoon to do whatever he wants to do. Yeah, yes. And there are a few of us here. I would invite you to stand, and even those at home, get your singing voices on for our statement of truth.
There is only one power, only one presence, active in all my life and in the universe. God the good in all, through all, and over all. There is only one power, only one presence, active in all my life and in the universe. God the good in all, through all, and over all. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Good to have live music again, isn't it? At this time, Wendy, one of our prayer chaplains, is bringing forward the prayer box. In the prayer box, we put our requests, we put our concerns. Those are held in prayer for 30 days by the Silent Prayer Circle and then sent to Silent Unity. And the prayer box will be out here in the narthex in the front lobby at the end of the service if you wish to put your prayer request there. And just so you know, we've recently had a couple of people pass away. Dodd DeLong has passed, and some of you also know Ken Kosloff, and he is the husband of Deborah Warren, and he made his transition. I think of him, really, really tall person in Cindy Acker's play. He played Earl Warren. And whenever I tie a tie, I think of Ken, because I'd be out here at the back, and every Sunday he would compliment me on my tie and on how I tied it. So I think of Ken every single Sunday, and other times as well. So we just lift up these people and those that are touched by the passing of Dodd and Ken, those families, and we lift up our country. Our country certainly has had its ups and downs, hasn't it? We continue to work towards that vision of freedom and equality, equity for all. And let us continue to hold that together. And I continue to have dreams at night, very vivid dreams of raining. I will have dreams that I'm laying in bed, awakened by the sound of rain, and I'll just listen to this gentle rain. Please continue to hold that vision with me as well. It's so deep, I'm dreaming it. And all of the requests concerns those affected by the building collapse in Florida and the natural disasters and wars and things that are going on our planet. We know that there's only one power and one presence, active as our lives and as the universe. And so as we relax our gaze or close our eyes, we take a deep breath and we breathe into this presence. We breathe into this presence of the divine, this presence of peace that is right here. Wherever we are, God is. Spirit, as we breathe into this presence, in this presence we know peace. In this presence we know true freedom. In this presence we know equity and justice. We lift up those affected by grief. We lift up those who have lost loved ones. We lift up those affected by the disaster in Florida and other events, natural and man-made events that have affected people's lives in this world. We believe together for rain. We believe together for a world that works for everyone. We believe together for an earth that is taken care of, where we seriously consider and take action towards our climate. In this presence, we know the one power and the one presence. In this service, we know peace. We know the presence. We are the presence. We know this service is blessed and filled with this presence. And for this, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen. And I'd just like to thank Carolyn for helping us with the daily word, which will be about freedom, and she will then lead us in our meditation. And you can let us know about your prayer requests. You can call us at 415-475-5000. Press 0 and leave your prayer request. We'll get that to the prayer chaplains. Or you can do it online with our Silent Prayer Circle at silentprayercircle@unitymarin.org, or you can call Silent Unity, which is available every day of the year, 24 hours a day, at 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Carolyn.
Thank you. Today's daily word is freedom. In thought, word, and action, I celebrate my freedom. There are many ways to feel free. I may work hard to become financially free. I may plan trips so that I can freely explore the world. I may commit to learning for intellectual freedom or exercise my body for greater freedom of movement. Even as I do my work in the world to know freedom, I remember that I am always free at the level of spirit. No situation or circumstance has power over me. Every day and in every area of my life, I live from my divine nature, where I am wholly and completely free. Through my inner powers of understanding and faith, I recognize and embrace empowering beliefs. my spiritual gifts of strength and release. Keep me on course and help me free myself from habits that derail my spiritual growth. Through God within, I am grateful to be free. And from Galatians chapter 5, verse 1, for freedom, Christ has set us free. And now we'll take a few moments in the silence to feel ourselves grounded here in this moment. Take deep breaths and feel the freedom within yourself to be who you are in the silence. In thought, word, and action, I celebrate my freedom.
Well, you just You just stand, watch the Lord see you through. After you've done all you can, you just stand and be sure. Be not entangled in that bondage again. You just stand and endure. God has a purpose. God has a plan. Tell me, what do you do when you've done all you can and it seems like you can't make it through? Child, you just stand. You just stand. Stand. Don't you dare give up. Through the storm, stand. Through the rain, stand. Through the hurt, stand. Through the pain, stand. After you've done all you can. After you've done all you can. After you've done all you can. You just stand.
Thank you, Jeannie Skybrook. It's good to have some live music. Good to have you here. Yay. And just so you all know, next Sunday, our singer will be Nicola Prince, opera singer from the Bay Area, and we had her once. Yeah, it'll be on recording. And also, 2 Sundays from today, I'll be here, but Reverend Deanne Weir-Morency will be bringing the message, and I'll be, you know, July is sometimes Metaphysical Movie Month here. And so next Sunday, I'll be talking about Lord of the Rings. I'll be talking about the hero's journey. I'll be talking about the transformation of going through the abyss and the gifts we bring forth from that. When Reverend Deanne speaks on the 18th, she'll be speaking from West Side Story. And so, anyway, come for that. It'll be exciting time. And we thank you for your continued support of this ministry as we are here to support you. So when we give, we are actually supporting, if you will, something that supports us. When I give, I'm giving from a sense of joy and gratitude. And we thank you for continuing to give. There's a number of ways in which you can give. You can do it by text. If you go to 84321 and you text that, it asks you how much you want to contribute. It's very easy to set up. Or you can send a check at 600 Palm Drive, Novato, California, 94949. Or you can go to our website, go to the donate page, or those of you who are here in person, at the end of the service, you can put it in the baskets. But I know that you give in this world in many ways, through your gifts, your skills, your smiles, your volunteer work with children, the work that you do out in the world. All that we do is really devotional service if we see it that way. And so thank you for all the ways in which you give. We will now have our offering song, and then following that, we will have a special song and then the message.
Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing that we can lack. We give from love. Love gives it back. And now I would like you all to join me in singing. We're singing, yay. At Memorial Day, I needed a song from this group I was singing with on Zoom, and I asked my mom, who is 100 years old, and she was a spar with the Coast Guard during World War II, and I asked her if there was a song that had meaning for her on Memorial Day, and she said, "Oh, beautiful for spacious skies," because she was not born in this country, and it made her feel like she belonged, and that everyone belonged in our country. So join me in singing that along with God Bless America. There should be words beside you, and if not, we have others. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, everyone. And today we're looking at breaking free. And, you know, when I think about freedom and think about Independence Day, I pulled out this tie today. This came from Pearl Harbor. I was there at Pearl Harbor looking at the museum, and I was with my best friend and with my wife, and we were on this boat. And you're going out over the water. And as you go out over the water, you begin to see the Arizona, the ship, the Arizona, and it's below water. It's sunk, you know, but you can see it there. And as I looked at that, I recognized the cost that many have paid for us, paid for our country. And so I want to thank all of those who, in whatever way you have served this country, whether you were in the service or you have served, all of us have served this country in many ways, but I especially want to lift up those of you who've been in the service. Thank you for your service, your help to our country. We applaud you. Thank you. So, breaking free of what? Now, growing up in this wonderful country, and I've had the opportunity to travel in a lot of countries, a lot of different countries around the world. Some of them have some wonderful, wonderful things about them. Every country has its challenges. Every country has its challenges. But what I noticed was that no matter where I was, no matter where I went, whether I was in this country or another country, there seemed to be one constant. What do you think the one constant was? Any ideas? Love of country? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Love of country. Pride in what they had developed. And anything else come to mind? Wherever I went, there I was. That was the one constant. Wherever I go, I'm still there. I'm affiliated with the Benedictine order in the Catholic Church. And I'm a Benedictine, as well as other alignments and affiliations. And so there's a monastery in northern Missouri that I am connected with and a part of. And at one time, I was interviewing with the person that you interview with to see whether or not you might become a monk there. I was seriously considering it. It was that close. And, in this talk, and it was with Father Albert, brilliant guy, physicist, astronomer, and monk. And as I was interviewing with him, he said, Tim, whatever it is that you're dealing with out there, you're going to deal with here because you bring it with you. He wanted to break through that, whatever thinking that someone may have. I've sometimes had people come up to me and say, how is it that monks think that it's okay to just escape the world and escape problems and escape? And I'm like, hold on, they're not escaping anything. They're facing it. In fact, at least at that monastery and many monasteries, it's structured in such a way that you face yourself, not escape yourself. And so it's built in as a spiritual discipline. So wherever we go, we take us with us. And I've noticed sometimes, even being in this wonderful, free country, there's been many times, where I've had anxiety or I've suffered in some way. And what's the cause of that suffering? I mean, in Buddhism, we understand that suffering comes about because of desire or expectations. And as long as we have this attachment to certain outcomes, as long as we have this attachment to what we think should be, then we suffer because it's never quite what we had hoped. And that's taught in Hinduism, it's taught in many spiritual traditions of the world. Many of us think that we're free, but are we? I mean, what are you attached to? What is it that you get upset by? Sometimes I've gotten upset by some of the most ridiculous things. I can think of times in the past where I got upset talking with, let's say the Wi-Fi and cable provider. Oh, you're laughing. Good. You can relate to that. And suddenly we don't feel free just because of the cable company. Or we may not feel as free because there may be some inner programming that is weighing us down, that we feel like we can never quite get out of, that we can never break from. And hey, I'm not putting any of the things down that I'm about to say, okay? But, just think about the material attachment that we have. Are there people here who cannot function unless you drink coffee in the morning? Can I see an honest show of hands? Okay, there's a few of you. Thank you for your honesty. So there's this thing that you've got to have in order to function. And for some people, it's being able to buy new clothes, or it's getting a new house, or it's buying a new car, or it's sexual gratification, or it's drinking, or it's stuff that ties us to the material condition. Now, you might have to chew on that a little bit. But think about the next time you're really upset, just take a deep breath and look honestly at what is it I'm upset about. Many times for me, when I get upset, and this is true confessions. So thank you for coming on 4th of July. You get to hear my true confessions. When I look at the things that really upset me, it's because I don't feel that I'm in control. Can you relate? You don't, it's like, oh, this was not fair, or oh, this should have happened, or, Yeah, we get caught up in that. And at that moment, are we free? We're really not. At that moment, we are attached to some particular expectation, some particular desire. We are attached to that. And I know this might be hard to believe, but it is possible to live in such a way that we enjoy life and those attachments get loose. We don't have to hold on so tightly. Now, what I'm going to describe is just three real basic unity ways. There's lots of ways to deal with this attachment that I'm describing, but one way is to identify. So I'm going to be using I words because we're talking about the I am. Identify with the absolute source, the source of our being. The source, God, the divine, spirit, the universe, this absolute source is never in bondage. This absolute source has no limitation. This absolute source is absolute freedom. When we identify with this source, we identify with real freedom in our lives. And this source is in us. In fact, it's what we really are. So this goes to Unity's fourth main principle, which is that by prayer and meditation, we connect and align with this divine presence. So in prayer and meditation, and by the way, let's see, it's September 8th, Wednesday evening, we will have a World Day of Prayer here. Unless things just radically change, okay, but we are planning a World Day of Prayer, and Christine Tolis, the harpist and singer, is going to be with us. She just confirmed with me. But prayer and meditation is so central to what we are about. of really tuning into this inner presence. When we meditate, we go into what Charles Fillmore calls the silence, and we really connect with this presence of freedom. So we identify. The second I is identity. So first we identify with our source. Second of all is the second great principle of unity, which is that you, me, all of us are the expression of God. All of us are the divine in action. All of us are this divine essence, this divine presence, the inlet and outlet of all there is in God. So when we truly know our identity, have you ever watched one of those movies where someone has amnesia, maybe from an accident or something was done to them? They don't know who they are. You know, this goes back years ago. Did any of you ever see Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall? And he begins to, in this movie, remember who he really is. I believe that most of us have forgotten who we are. We came to this planet and we started to see each other as separate, like you are separate from me, I am separate from you, I am separate from that, and to really get what I need to go after it, and I may need to climb on somebody else to get there. Instead of remembering who we really are, that we really are the presence of God. We really are that. When we remember that, then we really experience true freedom. Because what can we lack if we know that all that God is flowing in, through, and as us? How can there be lack or limitation when we know what we really are, who we really are? So we identify with our source. We remember our true identity. So the fourth principle and the second principle. Then the fifth principle, we invest. We invest our time, our talents, our skills, our passion into those areas in the world where we are called to show up and to stand together. We are not just here to know individual freedom. We are here to stand together for freedom for everyone, a world that works for everyone. Because we do really believe that all of us are the expression of God. So we are here to stand together and invest our time, our work, to work for equity, to work for justice, to work. I think of some of the people I've talked to. And I love all of you. You know that. And some of them have come to me and said, I don't know what to do with my life. I'm retired. I don't know what to do. I have just the opposite problem. I don't know what of all these things that I want to do I need to choose from. And it's hard for me to make that choice sometimes. And sometimes it leads to hard choices because, as one supervisor told me, Tim, I have learned that you can do anything, but you can't do everything. It's like rats. So, what is it that you really want to show up as? You know, I mentioned in 2 weeks, Reverend Deanne is going to be speaking. I listened to her message. You can go to the website at Unity San Francisco. She spoke at Unity San Francisco last Sunday, where she's also associate minister, and gave this powerful, phenomenal message that really has to do with embracing and owning and celebrating who we are. She did it as part of Pride Weekend. It's really about owning and embracing who we are. Do you celebrate who you are? Feel free to answer this. Do you celebrate who you are? This is such an honest group I'm with. Thank you for not faking it. So for those of you online, what you could hear was people murmuring sometimes. Sometimes I celebrate who I am. And the other times I wonder what you're doing. I wonder if the other times you're not so happy with yourself or wish that you had accomplished more or I don't know. Because a lot of us were installed with a particular program called shame. People thought it would be a good idea to try to control us, so they installed this program called shame. And shame is an excellent form of control. If you can instill enough shame in someone, then you can control them, because you can dangle a carrot in front of them to give them little glimpses of ways out of that shame. A lot of us grew up with that, not feeling good about who we were, not feeling good about how we were, if we're gay or black or just different. How many of us here, honestly, as you were growing up, felt different from others? Okay, quite a few. I felt really different from others. In some ways, I thought and acted different from others, Like in high school, kids thought I was on drugs. I'd just be staring at the sky. I wasn't on drugs, but I was in a transcendental state for most of high school. High school is hard enough. Try doing high school in a transcendental state. I mean, it was wonderful, but people thought, you're on drugs, aren't you? No, you're lying. You're on drugs. No. But those of us who know what it's like to feel different, and all of us, can we learn to just really celebrate who we are and celebrate the differences we bring to the world? Think about those differences. Think about those differences you brought into the world. Maybe you were super analytic. Or maybe you were someone who didn't like to study but just loved to work with your hands. Or maybe you were someone who just wanted to write and read. Or maybe you're someone who just wanted to talk and think of things to talk about. And I think about myself when I was 8 or 9 years old. I'd be in the basement of the house alone, and I'd be pretending to speak to large groups of people, saying things that would be important. And so I would practice down there. It just was who I was. It was just there. What is it for you? What is just there? Is it growing fruits and vegetables? Is it doing things for others? Is it giving others a ride? Is it standing up for people who are being treated unjustly? Is it singing in the choir? Is it working together? Is it being an usher and greeter in the church? Is it being a volunteer in the office? What is it? Just bring forth what you are, because what the world is waiting for is what you are. Isn't that good news? That is so different from what I learned growing up. But what the world is really looking for is you, for the gifts that you really can bring to the world. When you're identifying with your source and really coming from that place of source, coming from that higher place of love and beauty and creativity. When you truly know your identity, who and what you are, that you are this presence of God in the world, then you can invest what you are in service in the world. There's a reason there's not just one of us here. We're here to serve each other. We're here to stand together. We're here to work together as community and to work together as a world that works for everybody. As Jesus said, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We are here to bring heaven to earth. And that is true freedom. So please repeat after me. Where I am, God is. What I am, God is. How I serve in the world, God is. I am free, and I am thankful. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
You knew that if I was going to be here, I would be bringing my ukulele. Yes, I brought my red one because today's the red, white, and blue day. So this song is my friend Mark Siegelman, whom I do all my ukulele things with. He wrote the lyrics to this song after the 2016 election when our country was in such upheaval. And later he wrote the third verse, added the third verse to this. And we thank Leonard Cohen for his lovely melody. It's been a very stressful time. It's hard to find any reason or rhyme. Civility is hanging by a tether. But if we're going to get things done, we need the help of everyone. We're always stronger when we stand together. Stand together. Stand together. Stand together, stand together. We may diverge politically, but we can all at least agree that bigotry and hate don't make things better. The strength of this democracy is our immense diversity. That's why we're stronger when we stand together. Stand together. Stand together. Stand together. Stand together. Here in the United States, there is no room for racist hate. Our rights must be protected to the letter. When racist hate propels attacks, we all must rally to fight back. We won't be strong unless we stand together. Stand together. You can sing along. Stand together. Stand together, stand together. We may have come from different lands, but we are all Americans. It hurts us all when people tar and feather. We have a mission to fulfill, one nation indivisible, because we're stronger when we stand together. Stand together, 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 stand together.
What a great version of that that song, or using that song to give a very patriotic message. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to just tell a quick funny story. When we were singing America the Beautiful, I used to teach elementary school, and we were required to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and afterwards I would follow it up with a song, usually America the Beautiful, because I wanted to balance it out and give the kids an idea. So one time when we came to America, America, I sang, God shed her grace on thee. And one of the kids was kind of, why did you say her instead of his grace on thee? And I said, well, because we don't really know if God is male or female. And so I just, well, I got a call from those parents. They were not happy. But, just trying to open their little minds a little bit. So I'll always think of that when I sing that song. So just a few announcements I'd like to share with you, some good things to remember. First of all, we are live here for both services from now on, so please come back, join us. We want you here. And of course, you're always welcome online too, but it's just so great to be here live with everyone. And I want to tell you about a collaboration that Unity in Marin is doing now. Our Social Action Committee has formed a collaboration with several other organizations, including the Marin City Arts and Culture Center and the isogi.net, which was started by Ricardo Moncrief, who you'll see on the screen. And you may remember him because has been coming to Unity in Marin for a long time. Wonderful musician. Another collaborator is Dr. Cindy Acker, and our choir director, and Novato TV. So they have recorded a wonderful program that's going to be broadcast today at 3:30, and then again in 2 weeks on July 11th. Or 1 week, I'm sorry. 4 plus 7 is 11. Great music, and there will be an interview with Reverend Tim. And this is going to be an ongoing collaboration and more to do with our Social Action Committee. So if you have an interest in joining that, but especially support this fundraiser. Ricardo is a real go-getter, and we're happy to be working with him. The unityinmarin.org/events list will give you all the information you want to know. And even if you can't be there for the whole concert or want to just support this in some way, you can make a donation right there on our website. Thanks for doing that. Sue Summer, who's here with us today, if you want to stand up so people can see you. She is a wonderful creative writer, and she is sharing her knowledge and her gifts and her talents with all of you budding writers or established writers. So you can join at any point. It's every Tuesday, 10:30 to 11:30, and stay tuned for an announcement about to 12:30. Stay tuned about an announcement for a performance that the writers group is going to be doing. You might want to do that. Oh, Ricardo's also going to be playing music at that event coming up. Every Wednesday evening, we have our ongoing program, Getting Real with Race, and Dr. Cindy Acker will lead you through some deep emotions and give you some clear insights about what your own process is and what we can do to make more equity in the world. Yvette Connor, who's sitting here with us today, is our service sponsor in celebration of independence and of all those who have birthdays in July. Yay! Would that be you also? Yeah. All right. Happy birthday, Yvette. And our flowers today, the beautiful red, white, and blue, were done by Sarah Gaspari. You too can sponsor flowers or sponsor the service. Just get in touch with us in the office. For a small donation, you can add to the beauty of the sanctuary. And I'd like to ask any of the Unity and Marin prayer chaplains who are here to stand. And they are here to pray with us in person. Wow, 4 of them here today. Thank you for your service. It's really an honor to have this ongoing prayer chaplaincy program. So find one of them and have a prayer before you leave. Now, if everyone else will stand, we'll say the prayer for protection together, and then we'll sing our peace song. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And I think we're safe to take hands if you'd like to, and there's sanitizer on your way out if you want to. Let's hold hands and sing the peace song.